Hello, thanks for listening to Winchester Now, our local news programme for you on Winchester Radio. I'm Anna O'Brien, and on today's programme, we'll be hearing from those involved with Winchester Parkrun, volunteers at Badger Farm's Chat-Tea Café. We've got some ideas for your bank holiday weekend, other news in brief, community shout-outs, and plenty of talk of cake.
Winchester Radio.
Last weekend marked the 10th anniversary of the Winchester Parkrun, a free 5k timed event that takes place on Saturday mornings at North Walls Recreation Ground. There was a celebratory atmosphere for the 10th anniversary event on the 22nd of April, with original runners and volunteers returning, as well as cake, bunting and balloons. The first parkrun in Winchester in April 2013 had over 280 participants. The event was set up by Tansy Gill with the support of Winchester and District Athletics Club to create a free and healthy community activity. Winchester Parkrun now sees over 300 people take part each Saturday at 9 a.m. There's also now a 2k Winchester Junior Parkrun on Sundays for children aged 4 to 14. After Saturday's 10th anniversary event, I spoke to Dave Greenslade, who was one of the volunteers at the inaugural Winchester Parkrun in 2013. I also caught up with Parkrun regular Nikki Flanagan, who coordinated the birthday bunting and cakes last Saturday, and Chelsea Duke, who volunteered for the first time. She was participant 434 at what was the 434th Winchester Parkrun. I started by asking Dave about that first event 10 years ago.
Well, we were involved with Parkrun locally at Eastleigh and Southampton, and we heard that one was being set up at Winchester. So we came over to the sort of test event, and there were a few sort of tweaks and changes done before the inaugural event, where at the time, a lot of people used to come to the inaugural event. So we had something like 280 odd runners, I think, come to that first event, and in lovely weather. And it was a great success from there on in. It's just such a great atmosphere, no matter where you go in the country or in most countries in the world. You just feel so welcome and everybody's there with the same sort of view. And it's just a great event. There are just so many benefits to Parkrun, really, with not least of which it's a free event. It's not competitive. It's very social. And once you've tried it, it does get quite addictive.
Nikki, you've been volunteering and involved with Parkrun for a number of years now. Tell us what encourages you to get involved, because you also help coordinate the volunteer efforts.
I do, absolutely. And I completely love Parkrun for a number of reasons. One is it's just such a great way to start the weekend, because we get hundreds of people turning up, lots of people run, lots of people who can't run walk and enjoy doing that. And we have a team every week of sort of 30 to 40 volunteers who do the most amazing job. I think since we started, we've had 1,340 different volunteers working with our little parkrun at Winchester. And they bring a lot of joy to the runners, and they really encourage the runners as they go round and create a really nice atmosphere. So it's just a brilliant way to kick off the weekend.
And you do get some really hardy souls that will turn out whatever the weather.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, people will run through mud and snow and puddles, and people will volunteer through the same conditions. And as you well say, extremely hardy and very committed. And we hugely appreciate that. It's brilliant to see.
Do you see people kind of flourish who maybe join, and then a few months later you notice, they're so much quicker getting round, or they're really enjoying it and their fitness has improved?
Well, I think that's a wonderful point, because I think there is something for everyone at Parkrun. And quite often people are not competing with other participants, but perhaps competing with their own results from previous weeks. And because you get a very detailed report afterwards as to how well you've done and how well you've done against your own record, you can see and monitor your progress, and that can be really motivating. And some people are very competitive and very quick, and other people go because they love it and they enjoy it. And some people bring their dogs, small children in buggies or children who can run and walk with their parents come along too. So there is something for everyone. And people who can't run or walk the 5K can still be involved by volunteering. So there really is something for everyone.
And what were some of your most cherished memories of Parkrun over the years, Dave?
Oh, there have been very many. I initially wasn't able to run, so I did volunteering while my wife was running. But now I'm able to run. I managed to run 100 runs. My wife's way ahead of me at nearly 500 runs. And it's just the inclusiveness that's there. I mean, as Nikki has said, there's just so many standards of people that run. We've even got a group that run with visually impaired runners here locally as well. So it really is inclusive. There's always a very, very sociable atmosphere.
And Nikki, are you seeking more volunteers? You mentioned a great number of volunteers that have taken part over the years.
Yeah, there's a great range of roles. There's something for everyone in there. Some of the roles enable you to run as well. So if you're doing something like helping to set up or briefing people who are there for the first time, you can also participate in the park run itself. We are always looking for volunteers. We have a fantastic team, but we're always looking for more. Some people maybe just volunteer once a year or once every couple of years, and other people volunteer very regularly. So we're always on the lookout.
And Chelsea, tell us a little bit about your experience of Parkrun. I mean, you volunteered for the first time at the 10th anniversary event, but had you been involved as a participant before then?
I had been introduced to Parkrun by a friend in 2019, and I'd participated about 3 times then, but had never gone back after the pandemic. So this was my first volunteering, so I thought it would be a good idea to do it for the 10th anniversary event and help out.
And it was very special because there was a massive turnout at the 10th anniversary event. Tell us about your involvement on the day, because you had a very special role as a tail walker.
Yes, that's right. So I was tail walking along with another gentleman, and our role is to be the support for those who aren't perhaps as fast as some of the others. So as I walk Parkrun myself, it's really good to have that person. There's somebody behind you. You're not last. You're not holding everybody else up. So the tail walker's role is to be right at the back and just to be there as a support for everyone, all participants, and just make sure that everybody gets through the course safely, and then let the marshals and everybody know that you're the last one so they can start clearing up once you've gone through on your final lap. So it's a really important role to make sure that everybody feels included.
You don't have to be the fastest runner. It's all about enjoying the outdoors. And there are people who jog the course and walk the course as well. And that's encouraged.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, it really is for everyone. It's not a race. It's for everybody to get out there and just do some exercise. And volunteering, I really felt part of the Parkrun family. So the other volunteers were talking to me and things. I felt very much more part of it than just turning up on my own to complete the course as a participant.
That's Dave Greenslade, Nikki Flanagan and Chelsea Duke talking enthusiastically about 10 years of Parkrun here in Winchester. Last Saturday's 10th anniversary event attracted a total of 435 participants who ran, jogged or walked the course. If you'd like to get involved, either as someone taking part in the event or as a volunteer, email winchester@parkrun.com or visit their Facebook page. It's totally free if you want to take part, but if you've never done Parkrun before, you do just need to register first online and get yourself a scannable barcode so you can be included in the timings. Getting outside is good for both our physical health and our mental well-being. Here's Nigel Dallard with some other local health news and other news in brief for you this week.
Thousands of people across Hampshire have booked for their spring COVID-19 vaccination. The latest campaign began last week with nearly 4,000 people coming forward on the first day alone. The jab is open to people aged 75 years and over and those with weakened immune systems. Teams are also visiting care homes. People can get information, get help with booking an appointment, or check eligibility by contacting the Hampshire and Isle of Wight Vaccination Helpline on 0300 561 0018. That's 0300 561 0018. A staff from The Apprentice has visited Peter Simmons College to share his experiences and help celebrate the opening of a new building. Sohail Chowdhury is a former student at the college and made it through to week 7 of the BBC show. He was invited to share his insights on being an entrepreneur and his success as the owner of a local martial arts school. It coincided with the opening of the new Carville building, which has 12 classrooms and space for teaching subjects such as criminology, business and economics. Local charity Winac are holding an open meeting this Saturday, the 29th of April, at St Peter's Pastoral Centre on Jewry Street from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. This Green Hustings event will give you the opportunity to hear each political party's position on climate ahead of the upcoming local elections next week. Winac sent invitations to all the main local parties. The meeting will be chaired by Alex Clayton, Chair of Winchester Action on the Climate Crisis and Head of Geography at Winchester College. Refreshments will be available from 10 a.m. The hustings will start promptly at 10:30 a.m, closing at 12 noon. Everybody is welcome. You can register online via Eventbrite. This year's local elections are next week, on Thursday the 4th of May. Polling stations will be open at 7 a.m. and close at 10 p.m. A reminder that this year you will need to bring some form of photo ID in order to vote in person. Your usual photo ID, such as your driver's licence or passport, can be used, even if it's out of date, as long as it still looks like you and is in your name registered on the electoral roll.
I'm Paul Blitz, and it's time in the programme to give some community shout-outs. First of all, a huge shout-out of thanks to the many local runners who took part in the London Marathon at the weekend to raise money for charities, including local causes such as Autism Hampshire, Blue Apple Theatre and Wessex Cancer Trust. If you are currently building up your fitness to do a marathon event or run competitively over shorter distances in the near future, a reminder that our local Rotary clubs in Winchester, Sarum and Salisbury organise the annual Town Marathon. This not-for-profit event takes place on Sunday, the 1st of October, and it's a great way to enjoy the outdoors and raise money for charity. Our next shout-out is for the energetic team of residents, staff and volunteers at the St John's Winchester charity who are teaming up with staff from Winchester Hospice to take on South Wales's highest peak, Penny Fan, this coming Saturday the 29th of April. They're climbing the mountain in the Brecon Beacons to raise awareness and much needed funding for our local hospice here in the city. Both teams have been training hard, rucksacks are kitted out and accommodation is booked. They're hoping to raise £1,500. And at our local children's hospice, Naomi House and Jack's Place, there were smiling faces all round when Teddy the Shetland pony went along to visit the children and families there recently. It was a first for one child who'd never met a pony before and who even drew Teddy a picture to take home and put up in his stable. So a big shout out to the team for organising this at the hospice to bring joy to the children there. Finally, some of our listeners may know that our charity, Winchester Radio, is an active member of Dementia Friendly Winchester, a group of local organisations that work together to raise awareness and understanding of dementia. So a shout out to two of our local businesses who actively support people affected by dementia, Home Instead Hampshire and the Everyman Cinema on Southgate Street in Winchester. Every month these two businesses team up to give those living with dementia and their carers a dementia-friendly film screening to enjoy for free. Our local Everyman Cinema didn't have the films which Home Instead wanted to show throughout 2023, but a big shout out to them for their kindness because they went and bought them all so the desired film screenings could go ahead each month. If you are living with dementia or you're caring for somebody who has dementia, then please note that the next dementia-friendly screening will be at the cinema on Wednesday next week. That's the 3rd of May. Arrive at the cinema from 10:15. The film will start at 10:30. And the film being shown next week for this special screening is Top Gun, starring, of course, Tom Cruise. It's free to attend and you don't need to book, so just turn up in good time.
Winchester Radio.
Always wonderful to hear about both local individuals and organisations helping others in need. Remember, if you are part of a local charity or grassroots organisation in the Winchester area and you have a good news story to share, do drop us an email to news@winchester.radio. Next month, we have 3 long bank holiday weekends to enjoy. If you are looking for inspiration and ideas for some activities to do and places to visit over the coming days, here's Nigel again with some out and about ideas for you.
Vintage King Alfred buses will take to the roads again on Monday for their popular Maybank holiday running day. The Friends of King Alfred buses' newly acquired 1929 Leyland Lion bus will head the lineup of traditional buses, giving free rides around the city. It's 50 years this month since the company closed down. To mark the occasion, a special event will be held on Friday evening, with buses running the old timetable. At 11 p.m, there will be a last day farewell in the Broadway, replicating what happened in 1973, with a commemorative speech by one of the owning family, and a former conductress will issue the final ticket. Twyford Waterworks is holding its annual spring rally and will be open to the public on Sunday and bank holiday Monday the 1st of May. Visitors can explore the Edwardian pumping station, steam engine and boiler house. It's a chance to find out more about the history of water supply in the area. There are also nature trails in the grounds and picnic areas. To mark the 400th anniversary of the publication of Shakespeare's first folio, an exhibition entitled Folio 400 Printing Shakespeare features Winchester College's own first folio alongside later editions of Shakespeare's works and books by some of his contemporaries. The Winchester College Treasury is open to the public to visit, free of charge, every day from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. There's no need to book. Finally, if you love music, Pitch Perfect, a new series of weekly lunchtime concerts, started this month at the Hospital of St Cross. These will usually be held in the Lady Chapel and run from 12:30 p.m. for about an hour on Thursdays. Different performers will feature each week. Full details on the Hospital of St Cross website.
Some ideas there for you, many of them free activities to enjoy in and around Winchester over the coming days. If you listen regularly to our service on Winchester Radio, you'll know we often share lots of community information about opportunities to get together with friends or make new friends at a range of great initiatives that take place across the Winchester area, helping keep people connected and helping people feel less lonely or isolated. The Chat-Tea Café at Badger Farm Community Centre has been helping to reduce loneliness and isolation for the older generation since the monthly gathering started in 2019. Around 30 to 40 older people from the community attend each month and all receive a warm welcome from the volunteers who run the Chat-Tea Café, along with a cuppa, cake and friendly chat. Sometimes there's a talk by a book speaker, music or a quiz to enjoy too. I went along on Monday afternoon this week to speak to volunteers Simon Lever and Leslie Lockridge about the initiative.
The Chat-Tea Café is wonderful for volunteers, I have to admit, but the people we have here, some of them are genuinely lonely. They don't have any friends or their partners have passed, but they come in here and there's such a lovely, gently vibrant atmosphere. And they just all chat together, hence Chat-Tea Café. And it really is that way. It's a joy, it really is, to see people really engaging with each other. It's absolutely wonderful, honestly. And this is apart from the delicious cakes.
And Leslie, tell us a little bit about volunteering here, because there's always such a fun atmosphere.
It is. We've just put on free tea and cake for anybody who wants to come, and people can just chat. We can chat with them if they don't know anybody, or put them with somebody new. We have both men and women and couples coming, people who want to get to know some people if they've just moved into the area. A nice place for people to meet up and get together.
And it's at the Badger Farm Community Centre. It's a lovely venue to hold it. Today, as I'm talking to you ahead of His Majesty's coronation, it's all decked out with Union Jacks. There's some gorgeous bunting. There's some gorgeous cakes on a very beautifully decorated table as well. Do you get involved with the baking as volunteers?
Some of us volunteers do bake, but we also have donations from Cook in Winchester, who are very generous.
And it's such a nice thing because also it's a free activity. People don't have to pay to come. And I think with this cost of living affecting so many people, it's really nice to come into a warm, welcoming space. There's always smiles from the volunteers and people can just turn up and have cake and a chat.
Absolutely. Sometimes we'll have a jigsaw out. Today we've got a coronation quiz and we're going to have a raffle, which we don't always do. Sometimes we'll have a speaker. We recently had the Watercress line coming to talk to us. And sometimes we have some music as well.
And for anyone who's listening who hasn't been before, I know details are kept on the Community Centre's website, but you meet monthly on a Monday afternoon between 2 and 4.
That's right, we do. There'll be a poster up in Sainsbury's usually of the dates. We do a newsletter now and again which will give you the dates.
And what do you as a volunteer love most about volunteering with the Chat-Tea Café?
I just love the buzz of people coming in saying, hello, nice to see you, and to hear the buzz of the chat and to see them coming back month after month and enjoying it very much.
A vibrant, fun atmosphere and lots of scrummy cake on Monday at that themed Coronation-Café, organised so brilliantly by the volunteers at Badger Farm's Chat-Tea Café. Fellow Winchester Radio volunteers Val and Jeremy came along with me and they collected music dedications from some of the cafe guests, which you can hear played on our request programmes this week. If you would like to attend the next Chat-Tea Café, it takes place at the Badger Farm Community Centre on Monday the 22nd of May from 2 to 4 p.m. It's free to attend and there's no need to book. That's it for this week's edition of Winchester Now. Mary Blaxland will be back with you next time. We hope you've enjoyed the programme. If you have, please do let others know about it and our charity Winchester Radio. You can listen again to this and previous episodes of Winchester Now via our website at winchester.radio. And you can tune into the station a number of ways, including online, locally at 94.7 FM, or through digital radio. Many thanks for listening to Winchester Now on Winchester Radio. Have a great week.